Alright folks, so I wanted to briefly explain what a capo is and what you use them for. This here is a guitar capo, and this here is a ukulele capo. It's just a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller than the guitar capo. And essentially what a capo does is you open it up and you put it over your strings, and it basically moves the nut up a fret. So that now this is your open tuning. Normally this would be your E string, and now it is now your F string. Okay, same thing with the ukulele. You put this on here, and now instead of G, C, E, A open tuning, you've got G sharp, C sharp, F, and A sharp tuning. Is what your open strings are going to be now. Okay, so that's all it does. Now the next question is, why in the world would you use a capo? And new players, they see experienced players with these and they're like, what the heck is that for? For a long time I used to think the only reason for a capo was because you're too lazy to learn your bar chords and all the other chords you needed to learn. But actually that's not quite the reason. Some people might still think it's the reason, but I'm going to explain to you, show you why people use these capos. Now, the other thing I'll tell you about the capos is I play with some bluegrass groups, and these guys got these metal slider capos. They still sell slider capos, but none of them that I've seen are metal. But they've got these like nice Martin guitars and stuff, and they got these slider capos that are all metal, and they're moving them up and down their neck, and I'm thinking, man, this I don't know if I'd like to do that. But the new capos, these are Kaiser capos. These are what I use. They're a little expensive. I mean, I can buy a crock pot for 20 bucks, and these are 20 bucks, and a crock pot has a lot more material in it, a lot more engineering than this thing does. But this is a top of the line capo, and it's got nice, this looks like a silicone tubing on the back and a nice hard rubber part here on the top, and so it's not going to scratch up or tear up your guitar. So I'd certainly recommend buying a better quality capo like this than some of the cheaper ones, especially if they're metal. They don't have good rubber. The rubber's not going to last a long time, and it's going to end up tearing up your guitar. But at any rate, and you can see these come in lots of neat little colors. Same thing with the ukulele capos. So I want to show you what a capo is for. Now, again, I used to think a capo was just for people that couldn't figure out the rest of the chords, didn't know bar chords, stuff like that. But especially in bluegrass music, one of the reasons for using a capo is these guys learn these runs, and they're learned in an open format, open tuning. And they learn like these G runs, these little transition things to go between one chord and the next. So to go like between a G and a C, you might, and to go from a C to a G, you might back that up. And so they learn these little runs and stuff. And when you switch to a different key, well, if you're playing G's and C's, that's great. But if you're going from an A to a D, you'd have to learn a whole new pattern. And instead of doing that, they'll just go and take their G form. If they want to play in the key of A, they'll just move that up, and so they'll capo here, and now they play their G, and it's now the same as an A. Okay, so that's why they use a capo, is to change keys, and they still know their runs. They want to change keys, still do their fancy picking. That's how they do it. Okay, so one of the other reasons that you might use a capo, and this might especially apply to like a ukulele player, is if you just can't sing in the key that the music's written in. So you want to sing in a different key, maybe the key that's in is too high. Actually capoing up would make it sound like it would be worse because you're going up the neck and making your notes higher. But if you get to a different key and then all of a sudden you can sing an octave lower, now all of a sudden maybe it's in your range and you can sing the song. So that's one of the other reasons, is to just change the key. And a lot of times you'll have singers that say, I sing this in the key of C, or I'll sing it in the key of F, or whatever. And so if you already memorized the song, right, the chords of the song, but you didn't memorize the song in every key. So the capo is a quick way for you to change keys without having to rememorize your chords for the song that you learned, but still be able to play it the same way that you learned it, and for the singer to be able to sing it in the key that they sing in. So there is a reason for a capo besides just the fact that a lot of bluegrass players are going to hate me. A lot of bluegrass players only learn 3 chords, C, G, and D, and they just capo up and down depending on what song you're playing, what key you're playing in. They never learn anything other than those 3 chords. But there is legitimate reasons besides just only knowing G, C, and D. So hopefully that helps explain the capo. And if you haven't played with one, if you're going to be playing with other people, definitely capo is definitely worth the investment for your instrument. And like I said, get you a good capo that's got good materials on it and is not going to tear up your nice guitar.